I'm the computer man. I'm the Macintosh man with the virus scan. Moving your files all across the land. Some Photoshop filters in After Dark. Get your Microsoft Office, express your quark. Millions of colors with a VRAM chip. How about a system crash that'll make you flip? I'm the computer man. I'm saying Windows 95 is plug and pray. If it's fonts you want, you gotta go to MacWave. Log right on as my personal guest. You'll have Macintosh software on your desk. Send me an email with your request. If it's hardware you want, baby, I'm the best. I'm the computer.
Good evening, K-Square listeners. Good evening, Santa Cruz, Monterey, Central Coast, and beyond. My name is Luigi Opino, owner-operator of Pleasure Point Computers, right by the beach here in beautiful Santa Cruz, California. And for the next hour, I am your tour guide into a world of wonder, magic, information, and a lot of frustration. That's right. We're talking about the internet and the world of computing. I am your computer man. Welcome, one of the most helpful, friendly tech counters you've ever visited. I'd like to welcome you to your Tuesday night, to your local radio station, your local KSQD Santa Cruz, K-Squid, 90.7 FM, 89.5 and 89.7 FM, and also online at ksqd.org. Pretty cool. Stoked to be with you here tonight on this beautiful Tuesday night here at 6 o'clock. We're going to get about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes worth of computer stuff squeezed into this next hour, and I am stoked to be here with you tonight. Also, all of our new listeners, all of our return listeners, stoked to be with everyone tonight. A lot of things going on. We're going to be talking a lot about Apple Intelligence, a little bit of stuff going on about with some Windows things that are kind of funky, and then also like Kaspersky's going away, as well as just I'm going to try to get through my packet of email questions getting thicker and thicker, so I'm going to try to get through as many of these email questions also tonight as we can, because there's a lot of great stuff in there as well. If you have a question, if you have a problem, I'll solve it. Check out the beat while the DJ revolves it here at 831-900-5773. Give me a call. If you have a question of something going on with your machine, let me know about it. And I'd like to maybe help you out, or I'd like to help you out if I can, and then we'll go from there if I can't. So let's get everything going up here as well. We have our on air at ksqd.org. You can always email me here on air at ksqd.org. And we can check out all the cool stuff that's going on there, as well as all the fantasticness that's happening out with you. We have the phone lines going, 831-900-5773. I also want to see if we have this other, here we go. Cool, get that going. All right, excellent. Let's see what else is going on in, well, the world of computing. Well, a lot of stuff going on. Of course, if you'd like to reach out to me after the show, my email, Luigi, Luigi, at ksqd.org. And of course, during the show, got to be a part of the magic here at 831-900-5773. We've had 270 plus shows now, something like that, 200 something like that, 200, I think I'm on 271, something like that. And every caller has been rock on awesome, like super awesome. So you could be part of the 100% of awesomeness if you want to call 831-900-5773, or on air at ksqd.org if you want to just shoot over an email real quick with a quick question. You don't want to feel like jumping on the phones. That's cool. I understand that. Totally understand that. That's all right. But what is this Computer Man show that you just stumbled across here on the amazing ksqd.org? Well, we are all about updates, new devices, testimonials, scams, and most importantly, your stuff. What's going on with your bench? What's going on with our call-ins, our people out there in the world? I usually take whatever's coming through our bench and add it to my show, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world that, I see on my bench. It's crazy. Like, we'll have random machines that are shutting down, new processors that come out that need a lot more power that we didn't know about, that we have to upgrade a lot of things, and then some of those capacitors let go, and all sorts of stuff. So we're here every Tuesday night from 6 to 7 p.m., and you can get a hold of me here again at 831-900-5773. Okie dokie, artichoke, let's get this going. All right. First, let's see. Do I have any scams? We usually start the show off with scams. You know, this week, there weren't really any new scams. There's been a lot of just the generalized... that whole pig butchering thing has been really heavy, where if you tuned in last week, we did kind of a quick segment on it where it's all about they plump you up and then they get you, right? And when they're plumping you up, it's based on your heart, man. It's awful. So like you meet somebody on a dating site or a dating app or something like that, and then they start, being nice to you and giving you the attention that maybe you're seeking or something, or, whatever it may be romantically, and they're just milking you along for months, like totally take you over. And then they're like, oh, well, we've got this crypto thing that you should invest in, and we're both going to make a lot of money, and we could get a house together because you're, obviously in love. And then, so you pump money into it, and then all of a sudden, poof, the account is emptied, and there's no one there, and the phone line isn't answering anymore, and the person is gone. And it's devastating. People have gone all the way to take their lives over it. It's very, very sad. So, and I've seen a number of people, luckily, that haven't been to that level, but I did have someone very sweet last year that had been led on by somebody, and it was, it was pretty close. Like, it was within 2 years of the person's husband dying, and just it's just sad, because it's pulling on somebody's deepest vulnerabilities, right? And it's just the empathy in me just goes crazy. So it's my heart goes out to you out there, people who are going through it, even if it's just financial, dude. That sucks too. But to also have to be financially kind of messed with and also have your heartstrings pulled, it's hard to come out of that barrel, right? So just be careful out there. If someone's online and they think that it's great and stuff, I mean, like, we have so much technology to see and see someone. Of course, now there's filters and all sorts of stuff. But if someone's with you and they're romantic and they can't figure out a way to FaceTime you, but you're talking on a phone, come on, right? Just I don't know. So my heart goes out to them, and it's just again using the beloved technology that I think is so cool and doing just something just the worst with it, right? Just very sad. So let's actually record. We're gonna have a couple things going on current event wise. I wanted to talk about Microsoft doing something good. What? What did we talk? What, Microsoft doing something good? Yes. So you know how we've been talking about these ARM powered or these ARM powered new Surface Pro tablet, PC, laptop things that Microsoft's been coming out with. I've always disliked the Surface Pros because I have never been in a corporation where someone hands me one. If someone were to hand me one in a corporation, they're great to use. You could use them. They're very nice. They're small. They're sleek. They're relatively quick. I can download pretty much any app I want as long as it's not in Windows S mode, and it has a quick solid state drive built into it and everything, and if it breaks, I just give it back to the company and they would give me a new one, right? But if I am a consumer spending my own money on a computer that I would like to have last, or if something breaks that I would like to fix inside, that is not my machine. It is a sealed device, and they're unrepairable. Something breaks in it, they're dead. You break the charging port in it, you're screwed. I mean, you can pull and pry the screen off and all this stuff. But you have to probably replace the screen, probably replace the glass, glue it back together, all that stuff, and the case will be wonky. It's just, there's a lot, and you need the proper tooling to do it. There's things that you need in order to make that work, right? And so, yes, it's a repairable, but like iFixit gave the Surface Pro tablets a repairability of 1 out of 10, which is bad. So the new ARM powered ones were just reviewed by iFixit, and I am blown away. I'm blown away. It says iFixit basically it says that the new ARM Surface hardware puts repair front and center. What? And they're saying that the solid state drive and the battery are both easy to get to. And I'm like, dude, hold on a second. Are you telling me that we're going to the point where like a battery is replaceable again? Are you telling me that when the hard drive, when the motherboard dies, if someone spills water in this thing and I need to actually pull their hard drive out of it and look at it on another machine, I'm going to be able to? Because right now on MacBooks, for the past like 3 or 4 years, dude, if you spill water on your new MacBook and you don't have a backup, you are hosed, like pun intended, because the motherboard is soldered to the hard drive. The hard drive is soldered to the motherboard. They are one. And there's this little port, evidently, on some of the MacBooks. You can buy this whole entire elaborate, crazy thing that like powers certain parts of the motherboard through this special port. And then you can get to the data, supposedly, but I've never actually seen one work. And they're like $300. And no. So the repairability has gone through the floor, and people have accepted it. They either that or they don't know. It's one or the other. Because I've had customers come in and they're like, well, can I remove the hard drive out of this? I'm like, oh, you've been burned. You have gone through the process of getting a machine that you had data on that you could not get that data off when the motherboard died, haven't you? Or you're in one of those 1709 MacBooks where they had the very, very specialized solid state drive that they made only for 1 year, and then they made the motherboards garbage, so all the motherboards are trash, but they still that's the only way you can attach onto this one solid state drive. It's insane. So if you have that solid state drive, or if you need the data off that solid state drive and your motherboard dies, you're screwed. There's no docks. There's nothing you can hold on to, or nothing you can plug in without buying an entire another machine and plugging into it. And those machines all have bad motherboards. So a lot of them don't work anymore. It's crazy. So iFixit giving this thing a score of or repairability of anything is amazing. But evidently there's been pressure from shareholders. And I guess they finally got their hands on one. iFixit did. If you've ever heard of iFixit, it's a online website of course. They basically will take apart items and give repair shops or people the power to repair their items, and it goes through everything. It's not just computers, like blenders and DVD players and consoles, like video game consoles, or even electronics. Like if I had like this incredibly fancy board in front of me, this might be on iFixit. Someone might have taken one apart to replace something inside, and that's great. Repairability is awesome. If you can repair something that still works and still does what it's supposed to for you, why are we upgrading, right? I mean, like, there's faster stuff, sure, but do we need speed all the time? A lot of times we don't. So this is really cool. I'm really excited about this. It says that iFixit says you only need to undo 4 screws hidden beneath the laptop's rubber feet, which is no big deal, usually little stickies. And at that point, the bottom of the machine is only attached by magnets rather than breakable retention clips. Every machine that we have seen for the past, since I've opened my shop, has been attached with retention clips. You put those little screws in around the side, except the MacBooks have been metal, so they just sit on top until they got later on, and then they had to slide off, and then they had retention clips, and they had sliding and retention clips. Ugh. And a lot of times, if they're plastic, they'll just snap off. The when apples are metal, and they'll cut you, but the like Toshiba and HP and Lenovo and Dell all had these like snap, and if you take them off, in the wrong direction, or if the machine was kind of in a cold spot or whatever, you can snap those things off and then it doesn't sit right again. You're like, ugh. And so, you're trying to just fix something. And you're just trying to get into it to fix it, and they make it so difficult that you end up breaking half of the other things to get into it, and you're like, well, what are we doing? And is this worth it? So that's very cool. It's just held in by magnets. I'm excited about things like this because there's an M.2 solid state drive in here, just a standard NVMe drive. And also there's labels inside the device that indicate which screws need to be removed in order to replace which parts, what kind of screwdriver you need to do the job, scannable barcodes, and also to make it easier to find repair manuals and parts on Microsoft's site. I'm amazed. So most other parts are also easy to remove and replace once the bottom of the laptop is off. That's awesome. So it said the teardown video didn't detail exactly why iFixit knocked points off of each device's repairability score, though iFixit took note of the score down non-upgradable RAM and Wi-Fi Bluetooth module. So the RAM's soldered in, and if your Wi-Fi card goes out, it looks like that's also soldered in, which is also your Bluetooth. It's rare that we replace Wi-Fi cards. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. When I say sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, sometimes the Wi-Fi card is not the problem. And a lot of times when we do replace it, it is an easy replaceable thing. Like the MacBooks have them sandwiched in between the monitors sometimes. There's weird places that the MacBooks sometimes put them. And then other times I have a bowl full of Wi-Fi cards that I've pulled out of other machines that I've, decommissioned. So the Wi-Fi cards are modular. They come out, but on this one it doesn't. And same with the RAM. But RAM has also been kind of soldered into motherboards lately too. So I'm okay with that. That's fine. Whatever. I don't need to really upgrade RAM if I'm buying that Surface Pro. I'm not going to keep it so long that I'm going to keep upgrading the RAM like I used to on like a desktop or something. It's going to just be what it is. So cool. That's that. Not only just for like my business, which is nice. It's to show that we should not be throwing all this stuff away every 3 years. Holy moly, the amount of materials and the things that go into that material to create a laptop that is just stacked in the back room. Actually, I've been doing a lot of stuff. We've been pulling a lot of laptops out that we've had. We get a lot of donations, as you can imagine, over the years, and we've been pulling them out and seeing which ones turn on and which ones have decent batteries and still function and stuff, have keyboards that still work. And, and if they work, we've been putting decent hard drives in them, or if we have extra solid-state drives, we've been putting solid-state drives in them and been putting Windows 10 on them. And most of these old machines, these like Windows Vista machines, a lot of Windows 7 machines. I had a couple Windows XP machines that loaded up with Windows 10, and basically almost everything worked on them. Almost all the drivers worked and everything. It's ridiculous. Windows 10 is solid. Yeah, I can't believe I'd ever say that, but it is. So cool. Other current events here. Let's see what else we've got here. Oh, this is doing good on time. I want to get to a bunch of these email questions. So Apple Intelligence. Let's move across the aisle here to Apple. Apple Intelligence is a new thing that's coming out in iOS 18. iOS 18 is not released yet. I don't know. Actually, here, scan with me here. Let's see, iOS 18 release date. I don't know if the release date for iOS 18 has come out. Let's see, is it available? Oh, developer beta testers. Let's see, September. Oh, okay. So you're going to launch it with the iPhone 16, which unfortunately I might need to be picking up. My iPhone 12 is getting a little weird, and it's doing weird things. And I've heard that some of the iPhone 12 Pro Pluses, which is what I've got, the solder starts to delaminate itself on parts on the motherboard. And there's some components that actually will leave the motherboard and cause the phone to not function anymore. So I back up my phone every single night automatically, but that is frustrating because I've had some black screens and stuff, and that's just annoying. So anyway, iOS 18 is going to have Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence is basically like your on-phone Siri Plus. It's a thing that will allow you to ask questions. Okay, so like right now, let's say if Siri would allow you to search through your photos, and you're like, I want to see a photo of a dog. You go, okay, dogs. Here's dogs. Okay, cool. Can I say yellow dogs or black dogs? I don't think so. It'll just see and see dogs. Now, if I wanted to say, see a dog digging a hole, Apple Intelligence would be able to tell what a dog digging a hole is and be able to identify it in your photos and then return a search to you all on your phone. That's the idea. Like, so it's actually it's a kind of like an AI engine that's running on your phone. But the European Union isn't allowing Apple Intelligence to come out. So the main things on Apple Intelligence are the actual access to Apple Intelligence to use the feature, something called iPhone mirroring, and SharePlay screen sharing. And all these features are going to be coming to the iPhone, the iPad, and Macs this September. It's going to be a big jump. They're doing this huge new thing. But due to regulatory issues, they will not be coming to the European Union due to the Digital Markets Act. Crazy. And so they're figuring that stuff out. But they said basically that the Apple Intelligence per Apple says it's including a wide range of additions that overhaul everything from Siri to apps. One of the things that you're also going to be able to do is FaceTime lock each individual app. So if you wanted, if you had an app that I don't know. I'm actually not really sure. I mean, I have a toddler, so I would FaceTime not FaceTime. I would face lock Netflix or something if I didn't want her watching Netflix, and so she wouldn't be able to unlock it even if she has my code or what, or if my phone's unlocked, she still has to do that extra step to get into it. Something like that, right? I can't really think of why it would be unless you're doing like a dating app and trying to hide it from somebody. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm not one to guess why that would happen, but it could. So, anyway, the Apple Intelligence that is going to be coming out on iOS 18 also has iPhone mirroring, which is kind of cool. You can connect your iPhone to your Mac if it's not already, and you can actually control things on your phone from your Mac, or you can control things on your Mac from your phone. I'm not really sure. It's a sentence. I'm not really sure. I read it and I was like, okay, that sounds kind of cool. It says it allows the iPhone to be controlled on a connected Mac. All right, cool. SharePlay, moving on. SharePlay screen sharing, this is interesting, lets users take control of another person's screen while using the SharePlay feature with the aim of providing assistance. That's interesting. So I could move a user's phone, I could go to their screen and do things on their screen. I don't know. It's interesting. So, but evidently a lot of these things, a lot of them are not going to be even launching until 2025. But Genmoji, Image Playground, writing tools, and a bunch of in-app capabilities are set to be available starting in September. And that's what the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac users in the European Union are not going to get. I don't know how long it's going to take Apple or whatever to figure that out, but that's not going to happen. So kind of interesting. And it says that Apple's warning comes as the European Commission prepares to make a ruling on whether prior changes to allow app marketplaces meet the terms of the DMA. Regulators have said that there are very serious issues with Apple's implementation, likely related to the core technology fee that Apple is charging, some hidden fee they're charging someone somewhere that we are seeing or is coming to developers or something, and they're like, no, because they watch that stuff a little bit closer. Okay, so just real quick, I saw this, and if you have Kaspersky antivirus, I haven't really been into Kaspersky. When it first came out, I was like, okay, this is fine. Ran it for the Kaspersky Total Antivirus. There's a little T down by the clock, and it was okay in Windows 7. It was, whatever. But evidently, the current presidential administration has banned U.S. sales of Kaspersky software over the Russian ties that Kaspersky has. It's like, okay, so they're basically barring the sale of antivirus software made by Russia's Kaspersky Labs in the United States. It says where Russia's influence over the company poses a significant security risk. So theoretically, when you have an antivirus on your computer, it does have some root access control. And when I say root access control, it means it's not just like superficial stuff like moving icons around and stuff. Like if you can move an icon around your desktop, no big deal. To delete an icon or to delete a file takes a higher level like precedence on the computer. Like you have to have, kind of like basically administrator control, right? And with these antiviruses, if you want to delete something on a machine, you have to give the antivirus, basically a root access control. If it finds something in the C drive, finds something in the Windows root, folder, and it wants to delete it, you want it to be able to delete it. So it has to have root access control or has to have higher precedence on that. So to give antivirus from a country that is doing things that shouldn't be, then there could be ties and there could be a security risk based on that. Interesting. So if that's the case, it says Kaspersky said it believed the U.S. decision was based on, quote, the present geopolitical climate and theoretical concerns rather than on a comprehensive evaluation of the integrity of Kaspersky's products and services. It said also they emailed that Kaspersky added that its activities did not threaten U.S. national security and that it will pursue legal options to preserve its operations. Russian embassy didn't say anything. Kaspersky said that it was a privately managed company with no ties to the Russian government. Let's see what else. Let's see. Yeah. If there's anything else on here, say blah blah blah. It might just be Russian stuff. Said Kaspersky. I mean, I've heard about people going after Kaspersky for a while, or government entities going after it. I don't know if it's because of the Russian name. I don't know if it actually has ties. I'm not sure. It says Kaspersky is a British holding company and maintains operations in Massachusetts. And it generates they have 220,000 corporate clients in some 200 countries. Its website lists Italian vehicle maker Piaggio. What? That's weird. That might have been from something else. I don't know. Anyway, maybe I was looking at Volkswagens. Not sure. So, if you have Kaspersky, I've never really liked it in general. So, good reason to get rid of it, I guess, just because it's not that great. And if you're on Windows 10 right now and you're on a good updated supported version, Windows Defender is pretty good. Like I've been talking about before, a lot of these viruses aren't really... They're kind of like leftover from the previous virus wars. There's still a lot of bad stuff out there. And if you're running on Windows XP and going online, you're going to have some issues. But if you have Windows Defender running and a decent firewall and you're on an updated version of Windows, Windows 10 or Windows 11, you're going to be most likely fine. If you do download something, you can get malware bytes and run that and it'll find something and delete it. But it seems like the viruses aren't really being written as hardcore as they used to be. It's again these scams, these phone calls, these bad websites that you travel to by accident if you don't have ad block, like uBlock Origin or getadblock.com. There's, it just seems like that most of the attacks are kind of self-inflicted wounds. They're going to wrong websites with no ad block. Getting an email and clicking on the link, not looking and seeing where the link is going, but just blindly clicking on it because it freaks you out. And I don't blame you, but it happens. But it just seems that a lot of the attacks now are the virus downloads and the virus issues or any type of intrusion issues when people think they've been hacked or think that they have a virus is most likely just a bad website that they've gone to and they don't have ad block on their browser and it's loading all sorts of garbage. And there's a bunch of add-ons or pop-ups or whatever because the internet's riddled with that stuff. So... interesting. Let's continue on. Let's see if I have any other things here before we dive into the email questions and then kind of take that throughout the rest of the show. Because there's going to be a lot. The email questions go all over the place. Any other new stories or anything like that here? No, some smart stuff. No, not really. Is there any scams on here? Oh, there was a scam that someone sent me from Fiverr. also Windows Recall is really creepy. Windows Recall is this screenshotting thing that they do, where every 5 seconds, supposedly, on these new Windows machines, they take a screenshot of what you're doing, so it sends it back to Microsoft. It says the recall can store a couple dozen gigabytes of data across 3 months of PC usage, but it fundamentally breaks the promise of security in Windows. So they're trying to get rid of that, but it's kind of creepy as well. If you guys want me to talk about that, I will. Just kind of but like this Fiverr transaction, Fiverr. So Fiverr, I haven't actually used Fiverr personally. Fiverr, it's... Let's see. Online marketplace that connects freelancers with people or businesses looking to hire a variety of services. Okay, so if you're like a freelance talent person, you have a talent, someone needs you, they can hire you on Fiverr. Okay, so there was a transaction that came quote unquote from Fiverr. It's good day value, customer standing ovation. Your item is officially reserved for purchase. A buying and delivery order for your item is currently being fulfilled by our network. Press the button right there to validate your order. There's like, when you get an email like this, the wording is just a little off. And, maybe like, English as a second language people, ESL people, might not pick up on the nuances like that. But like standing ovation, you're like, standing ovation? Who types out standing ovation? It's just kind of weird, right? Or they say, press the button right there to validate your order. Now press the button below. Press the button at the end of this email. Press the button that says this thing on it. No, press the button right there. Press it right there. It's just kind of weird. So again, just like kind of like, it just tweaks my tweaks, right? So let's see. You'll be seamlessly guided to our order confirmation page. Execute the outlined steps on the page carefully to ensure proper payment for the item you successfully sold. So this one is something you sold. But this is not something that you sold because it's completely fake and didn't come from Fiverr. It's got the logo. It says a test on the button, and to be honest, I'm not sure what a test means. A test means to provide or serve as clear evidence of. His status is attested by his recent promotion. Oh, I can attest to his tremendous energy. Okay, whatever. So, yeah, that's a weird word in the button, too. I bet if you hovered over the button, it would do something weird. So, scams, left and right. This one actually looked pretty good. It's got the logo. It's got the good, correct font. It says it came from Fiverr, even though if you highlight over where it came from, it's not from Fiverr, but it says it is. So, just, the email scams are getting really good. A lot of people are getting screwed by emails. And also, the gift card phone scam stuff. So, just please be careful if you can. I know it's digital license. I know it's very difficult to do that. I read digital license here. But it's just be careful. Be careful. Okay, let's get into some of the email questions. There's so many of them. I want to talk about them. They're amazing. And then we're going to do like one or two here. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll just go and bust into email questions. Or you can give me a call, 831-900-5773, 831-900-KSQD. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. All right. First email question before we go to break. Digital license. I went to an electronics store to check for a new laptop with a separate graphics card. Okay, cool. Some laptops actually have built-in modular graphics cards. Some gaming laptops are pretty cool, so you can like upgrade them if you want. They can't go very far. Like the upgrades are pretty minimal, but there are upgrade abilities within them. Since I wanted to check out the speed, etc., I opened up Clipchamp and it asked me for a login. So Clipchamp. Let's see what Clipchamp is. Clipchamp, free video editing tool everyone can use. Okay, cool. Maybe it sounds like it says video editing. Okay. So I opened up Clipchamp and it asked me for a login. So I put my Outlook ID and checked for buffering while editing, etc. Came back home, forgot about it. Got a call a week later from the electronics store saying my OneDrive and Outlook Mail and Microsoft Office had been registered to that laptop and I must come and buy it. Okay, so wait a minute. So they went to the electronics store to check a new laptop. And wanted to check the speed. Oh, they opened up Clipchamp and asked me for a login, and they put in their Outlook ID into the computer at the store. Oh, okay. And then they left and came back home. Okay, fine. So they said the electronics store said my OneDrive and Outlook Mail and Microsoft Office had been registered to the laptop, and I must come and buy it. Okay. Went to the store, signed out from that brand new laptop, but the Microsoft Office was still showing my initials. I came home, I installed Office from my home laptop, reinstalled Office, which basically meant I got it installed from the store laptop. Okay. I installed from my home laptop and reinstalled Office. Oh, because then it would pull it off of that, I guess, if it were to seem, but not really true, but okay. The next day, I still got a call from the store saying they are unable to remove my login. Went again to the store and saw that when they were made changes in the profile in the Outlook that on the brand new laptop, that the same would reflect on my home laptop. Okay, now I know what's going on. Strangest thing. It says, store IT guy says the digital license for the new laptop is now linked to my email ID and there's no way to remove it. Apparently, the only options are buying the laptop or buying a Microsoft Office for the store. Can anyone help with the way ahead? Any way out is appreciated. Thanks. Okay, they just factory reset the machine. If they factory reset it, it will go away. It'll go back to the machine where it was, and the license will be sitting on the machine, and that machine will no longer have anything on it. You can just factory reset it. A lot of these machines do have a factory reset option, but if you factory reset it, it'll remove the license and put it back on. You might have to go onto your Microsoft account online and then deactivate that machine. But as soon as you do it, it goes away. People do that all the time. If they buy a new machine and they have to go from an old machine to a new machine or something like that, that happens. So it's commonplace. But it's a thing that can happen. And why are you signing on a public computer? I'm sorry, but I understand you didn't understand what was going on. There's no reason to sign into your Microsoft account on a public computer unless you're getting like your email or something. I guess I understand that you were wanting to see how the machine would run and stuff, but at that point, check the specs and go online and check the processor against what that program would run rather than whatever's in the shop, because most likely you're going to remove the operating system anyways, it sounds like, if you're running the piece of software like that. So, don't sign in to public stuff like that. I would change your password online if you can, and also just check on your account and just deauthorize any type of sessions or any type of machines that you might have already authorized when you did that, possibly. Okay, cool. That's a good start. Let's go to a quick break here on the Computer Man Show here on KSQD Santa Cruz, K-Squid 90.7 FM and online at ksqd.org. Let's see what's going on out there in the real world and see what's going on with our amazing underwriters. Stick around. We're going to be right back in just a moment and with more amazing email questions. And if you've got any questions out there in the world, 831-900-5773. We'll get to those in just a moment. Again, this is the Computer Man Show with your host, me, Luigi Opido from Pleasure Point Computers here in Santa Cruz. We'll be right back after a moment with our sponsors.
There goes the last DJ.
Oh, honey, you turn me on. I'm the radio. 'Cause when you can't find a friend, you still got the radio.
As long as there's a radio to listen to it on, K-Squid will always be your friend on the dial. 90.7 FM. Many voices, one station. K-Squid.
Listen to the radio.
KSQD has a new listener survey, and we'd love for you to take it. Please visit ksqd.org to find the link and give us your feedback. That's the K-Squid survey at ksqd.org.
Hello there, Santa Cruz. It's Dr. Dawn. Have you missed me? Don't worry, your old friend hasn't gone away. I've only moved next door to Thursday at 6 p.m. on KSQD. So come on over, and we'll have a comfortable chat about whatever ails you, as my grandma used to say. Also, maybe scientific discoveries, health politics, health policy, and answers to your questions and comments about all of the above. So remember, 6 p.m. at Thursday is the new time for Ask Dr. Dawn.
My name is Luigi Opido, owner-operator of Pleasure Point Computers and the host of the Computer Man Show, a 1-hour call-in show Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Viruses, slowdowns, scams, and updates. Computers can be a pain, and I'll help you through it.
Send me an email with your request. If it's hardware you want, baby, I'm the best. I'm the computer.
If it has an on switch, we'll probably talk about it on the Computer Man Show Tuesdays at 6 p.m. only on KSQD 90.7 FM Santa Cruz.
Get into a computer. Hi, I'm Bobby Bishop, host of Be in the Night, bringing you the best I can with jazz, love songs, and soul. Join me on Tuesday evenings from 7 to 10 p.m., playing the classics straight ahead and introducing you to the latest artists and composers. That's Tuesday nights from 7 to 10 p.m. right here on listener-supported KSQD 90.7 FM, Santa Cruz.
Yes, the amazing Bobby B coming up at B in the Night at 7 o'clock with Jazz. That will be. I actually was listening to it out in the. He's putting together part of the show right now, and I was hearing some of the amazing stuff that he's going to be playing. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And again, like we always say, what lets all this computer stuff ooze out of your ears? It's jazz. So stick around, 7 o'clock. All you got to do is stick around and do nothing. Let it happen to you. It's going to be great. 7 to 10, Bobby B in the Night. Also, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 10, amazing jazz here at KSQD. If you don't believe me, you can jump online to ksqd.org, hit our 2-week audio archive, and under our listening tab, and you can listen to last week's show. And they were awesome. So pretty cool. All right, well, welcome back to the Computer Man Show here on KSQD Santa Cruz, K-Squid 90.7 FM, and online at ksqd.org. We're doing some email questions here on the Computer Man Show. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, things, thoughts, everything that's going on out in the world, give me a call, 831-900-5773, and I would love to hear from you. All right, so the next question says, my Defender, which I mean Windows Defender, found some PUA files, and it's unable to delete it. So my computer found these files as unwanted applications, and there's like a bundle installer for a remove button, IC bundle, FileZilla bundle installer. So all these were under FileZilla. So first of all, FileZilla is one of those programs that's not evil, but evil people use it. And then it gets a connotation with being evil. So like TeamViewer, which is a remote-in piece of software that allows me to take remote control of a machine. If I was a jerk and a malicious actor and put TeamViewer on your machine and used it maliciously, yeah, that's a bad piece of software because I'm going to do bad things with it. But if it's a good person and someone who's trying to help you with your computer, TeamViewer is awesome because you can show them exactly what's going on. They can fix your computer, they jump off your machine and all as well. And it's a great way to remote into a machine. So with great power becomes great responsibility or whatever, right? So FileZilla is the same way. FileZilla is a file transfer protocol, an FTP piece of software, and it allows you to pull files from one location, be it a website, a web server, if you have an online network attached storage, something like that, and then you also have your local computer, or you have another storage, or you have an offsite storage, or you have something on the network at your local location, or an external hard drive, or whatever. You can use this one program to set up where it is and where it's going, and then go copy, and it would make a copy of whatever you want, boop, over to the other thing. Really cool. But in the wrong hands, FileZilla can be used to transfer files that people don't want you to transfer out. So it can be, again, used very, very, very powerful, and it's very, very good, or for very bad things. So this person found some files from FileZilla. So this person says, so at this point, in this case, because they didn't install it or know about it or anything like that, it could be utilized by someone or by malware, excuse me, to actually transfer files out of the machine. So I would uninstall it. And it's not necessarily something you can remove. You most likely have to do an uninstall. If you can't uninstall it or, or run the uninstaller, there's a piece of software called Revo Uninstaller, REVO Uninstaller. Revo Uninstaller is a uninstalling program. So you download this program, you run it, and it then looks at all the programs that are on your computer and says, okay, these are all the programs you want to uninstall. Which one do you want to install? And you go, okay, I want to uninstall FileZilla because it's not working right. So you click on it, and then you hit uninstall inside this Revo Uninstaller, and it then goes kind of into a sub window and says, okay, and tries to run the uninstaller. It does its thing, and if the uninstaller doesn't work or doesn't run or anything, it says, hey, I had a problem. And it goes, do you want to continue? And you go, yes, I do. And then Revo Uninstaller takes over. It then watches the uninstall process and finds where those files were linked to. It then shows you on your computer what wasn't deleted. So then you can go through and actually delete those pieces of software. And not even just those pieces. You can also then do the next section, which will delete the registry keys that it actually created in the registry so it doesn't exist anymore. This is a great piece of software if you're trying to do a free trial and the 30 days runs out and it's only a local login thing and it kept something on your computer and you load the software again and it says, oh, you already used your trial. Guess what? Revo Uninstaller will uninstall the things that show where it was and goes, hey, I've never been on this computer before. Welcome to your 30-day trial. Just saying. So with this one, I would use that and I would run it and then let it go through and completely remove all the pieces and parts of FileZilla. And at that point, the program will be so broken that it won't be able to do anything and it won't function. And even if something needed to use it, it can't. So no big deal. And the leftover remnants are going to be so inconsequential, it won't take up much space, you won't even know it's there, and you'll just continue on with your computing. So, next one, forced upgrade from Windows Mail to the new Outlook. Blah! So Windows Mail sucks, kind of. It's just very simple. I don't know. People really like it, but I hate it. So to each their own, but ugh. And then the new Outlook is even worse, man. It's awful. It is awful. I know. It's so nice to just push a button and get your email in a little program. But guys, come on. Like, get off these mail programs. They're just causing you pain. Especially if you have to like do this stuff for business. You're downloading your mail into Outlook and then you need that and you have a PST file that's 10 gigs and all of a sudden you need the file out of it and you can't get it out because the computer died and we have to transfer it and it has to be upgraded and literally like transplanted over, and then sometimes it doesn't, most times it doesn't work. You have to get the PST reader that then pulls all the files out. It just, nightmare fuel. So this person inside their stuff says, force upgrade to Windows Mail from New Outlook. For the last 12 months, my mail for Windows client has progressively gotten more forceful with its recommendation that I change to the new Outlook for Windows instead of my long-used Windows Mail client. First it started with pop-up messages, then opening into Outlook by default, and now they've taken away the slider where you can change back and have it buried deep within the settings in an attempt to get people onto the new software. Yeah, I've seen that stuff. Tricksy, very tricksy. So naturally, I relented and decided to give it a try, and it's not even finished, he says it all in all caps. In less than 3 days, I have found bugs with spell check not working, broken UIs, user interfaces, poor performance compared to the old client, and the user interface is so cluttered it's almost unusable. And I completely agree. Why am I being forced to beta test an unfinished product? Oh, Mr. New to Computers. I'm so sorry, but you didn't know that all these companies use their customers as test beds? Yeah, there's some beta testing here and there to make sure it turns on, but after that, they won't know until it gets out into the real world. And then as soon as they get it out into the real world, we can figure out if it's really going to work. And guess what? You're the real world, and you're figuring it out for them. And then it crashes, and they go, oh, okay. Well, that didn't work. Okay, let's try something else next time. You're like, but dude, my stuff's not working. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're working on it. You're like, with no phone number to call, no tech support. So anyway, why am I being forced to beta test an unfinished product? Welcome to the world of computing. Email is one of the most basic essentials to my job, and now I have a headache of trying to find a replacement app when there was nothing wrong with the existing app. It's disgraceful. And I completely agree. The moving of software out of one and into another, a lot of times I get it, but I don't get it. It doesn't need to be new and fresh and hip and hopping. It just needs to work. Do the home stuff. Do you remember back in the day when we would get Windows? There was Windows XP Home, and there was Windows XP Professional. And now I know, old, right? Okay. So Windows XP Pro was square and blocky and simple and straightforward, and Office was very blocky and very straightforward, and everything had an insignia, and it was very true and very rigid, and it was just business. It was very straightforward. This is what it is. XP Home was bubbly and froofy and had giant green jelly bean start menu with a giant blue bar that was very soft and had the green pasture behind it and very soft colors, and it was just very kind of squishy. And that's what it was. And you could choose, man. You could choose if you wanted to have the hard, rigid-looking exterior, or if you wanted to have the nice, soft, squishy home base. You could get Windows XP Professional and turn it into Home. You could get Windows Home and turn it into Windows XP Professional without. It wasn't hard. It was a personal preference that they gave us, and they no longer do that. So the software like this, Windows Mail, with its ribbons and its bubbles and stuff, it's awful. So my recommendation would be to get off that garbage, if you can. I say that with love. Get off that garbage and get onto a website that actually allows you to see your email. Now, if you have some type of weird domain or something like that and you can't see your email, that sucks for you. I'm sorry for that. And now you're stuck in an email client. And I have a lot of clients that are like that. But you also can get your stuff ported to like a Gmail client. Like I use Gmail for my Luigi at pleasurepointcomputers.com. Luigi at ksqd.org is my email address. It comes through like a Gmail prompt. So I can use Gmail anywhere in the world from any computer. in the world, any device that goes online that allows me to look at email, that allows me to go online to a website, I can check my email on. How nice is that? I don't need my email client. I don't need to be on the computer that lives with my email in order to check my email. And if that computer dies, oh my gosh, all my emails are stuck in there, possibly. That sucks. So get off the email client, man. I know you need to be on it. I know it's probably not possible to do anything else. I get it. But no. I hate the email clients. I hate's a strong word. I dislike them strongly, very strongly. So just get off it. So, anyway, and then also the person said, well, I tried uninstalling the new Outlook, and now the old version is bricked and won't open unless you reinstall it. It says, and at that point, just get like Thunderbird. If you need something like that, Thunderbird works. It's basically straightforward, and it's free. Get Thunderbird. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this one, we talked about this actually last time. I think this one was where this, actually we talked about that. Okay, that was about, actually this wasn't last time, it was a couple times before, but so it says, and this just, you can have some fun with me on this one, I think. It says, do tabs in Windows automatically close on a laptop after some time with the battery, if the battery runs out? So it's like, do the tabs close if the battery runs out? Like, okay. And it says, kind of nicely for work. I'm like, okay. So it says, last night I, a 16-year-old, was doing some human anatomy research. We've gone over this. You listened to the show before, we talked about this one, but it's funny, so I'm just going to do it again. So on my mom's laptop. Human anatomy research, unquote, on my mom's laptop. This is because my dad took my laptop away, so I had to use hers. So I had some tabs open, even on multiple windows. And anyhow, the laptop ran out of battery. Okay. And I didn't want to get up and go get the charger, so I just let it shut off without closing anything. Okay, not intentionally. And then I concluded my research. Concluded and research were both had parentheses around them. After some ridding of physical evidence, wow, this is very detailed, I fell asleep, woke up to the laptop missing, and my mom working with it in the living room. All of my things were gone, the websites, I guess, and she only had her email and a document open. What was open before was one Chrome window, a Chrome Incognito Windows, and a Steam browser window. Said, now did they close themselves because of the approximately 7 to 13 hours it was shut off without battery? Or did my mom have to go through everything and close it herself? I'm really embarrassed, but she's just acting normal, which I'd expect her to do because she's the type just not to judge. But still. Okay. All right, so anyway, then there's an addition. It says that she has her keep tabs open when closing Chrome instead of all the tabs individually enabled. My quote unquote normal tabs from last night, was also watching YouTube and casually browsing Reddit, not researching all night, were closed as well, which I'm not quite sure if she would do that, but probably. Okay, it said also my dad took my laptop because he thinks I play video games all day. Not true, since both my laptop and my mom's are blah, 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 blah. And the video games were the reason I'm not doing well in school, whatever. Okay, so when Windows 10 or Windows 11 powers down gracefully, it will write the current RAM contents to the hard drive and then resume where you left off last. That's how Windows works, okay? And when you power back on. 15 years ago, you could, a shutdown like that might have killed your computer totally, but things have gotten better. So did she see that stuff? Yes, most likely. Sorry. Sorry. All right, next thing. All right, moving on. Let's see. So it says, please help with recovery. Okay, so we got about another 10 minutes or so. If you have a question out there, totally okay, totally great. Love to hear from you. 831-900-5773. That's 831-900-KSQD. It says, please help with account recovery. My account is not suspended or banned for breaking terms of service or anything. Okay, that's a good start. When I try to sign in, it says, quote, we've detected suspicious logins and have locked your account temporarily. You need to verify and change your password before you can access your account, which normally would be an easy task, except when I try to verify, it only lets me get to a verification code from a number I had previously, but no longer have. Okay. So the other option is to fill out the recovery claim and answer all the questions. I've done this 3 times now, and I always get sent the same email saying the information you provided is insufficient, which I don't see how it's possible considering I've answered everything correctly. So I'm stuck on what to do. I have been locked out of my account for 2 weeks now. Is there anything I can do to get it unlocked or change the linked phone number? I'm getting desperate. Please. I've spent hundreds on this account and over 2 years of straight playtime across all games. Okay, so it's probably like a Steam account then, I guess. maybe. Says, yeah, I'm having, someone else wrote, I'm having also the same issue with the account. I've had 10 plus years now, and it's saying the same thing when I try to recover the automated response. Thing says I'm not giving enough, so I'm stuck at this point too. Okay, so this one's a weird one. I kind of need a little bit more information on it. If it's Steam, Steam has a really awesome customer service crew that will help you get back into an account by verifying you with different ways. You can send IDs to them, all sorts of stuff, and they just go through the process. It's actually pretty straightforward. I'm not really sure what this is for. I assume it's if it's like a Microsoft account, you can get in a number of different ways. There's actually a couple different ways to get a hold of them. But on this one, I'd like to know a little bit more and why and where this account was. So I thought I had this in this one. Sorry, I just kind of must have added that one and didn't have any extra information. But usually an account, there's usually more steps, but that also right now just reminds everyone else listening right now to make sure that your recovery phone number, if you've recently changed your phone number, is updated in most of your devices. If you get locked out of a device and it tries to text your number and you don't have it, it will cause a big issue for you because you will not be able to get into things and it will take up extra time when you're already kind of probably pressed doing something else, right? Right. Okay. Let's move along here. We got about another 6 minutes left in the show, 7 minutes or so. How safe is it to keep an external hard drive plugged in 24/7? I'm currently self-hosting a movie TV show server and running out of solid-state drive space. I'm not sure if adding an external hard drive using a USB and keeping it plugged in 24/7 is safe. If keeping plugged in USB is unsafe, is there an alternative method I could utilize a hard drive for my server by keeping it plugged in around the clock? Okay, so yeah, you can totally keep an external hard drive plugged in. They're designed to run. It's just a normal desktop hard drive inside of an enclosure that just sits outside of the case. So it is designed to be plugged in all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and be used whenever the computer's plugged in. So as long as it's plugged into decent power and isn't, getting brownouts or anything crazy or having a light switch turned on and off or something, yeah, it should be great. I've had external hard drives, and these are hard drives, not solid state drives, but external hard drives, plugged in, running for years sometimes, depending on where they were plugged into. At my old shop before we moved, I had a server system that was running on like 3 or 4 different old external hard drives that were just plugged in, just humming away. Also, those things that are really important, I have backed up to the cloud because one day I'm going to come in and the hard drives are going to be off and they're not going to turn on again, right? One of those things. So, but a lot of the stuff is just re-downloadable, kind of not necessarily garbage, but just kind of stuff I can get again. But again, those hard drives that are inside the external ones are just internal hard drives in an enclosure. So yeah, just the same way your machine can stay on, those hard drives also can stay on. So yeah, not a problem. And the only thing would be then is getting a hard drive that has enough throughput to actually allow the movies and the games and everything to come out of them, like through a USB 3 port, and make sure that all your USB 3 drivers are updated so you're actually running those higher protocols, because that might be a limiting factor. It's only going to be as good as your weakest link, and that might be it. So yeah. Okay, let's see. So I'm trying to log into an old Hotmail account, having some troubles. I remember the account username and password, okay, but it wants to send an email to verify, but I don't have access to the email that it wants to send to. So there's a couple ways you can do it. There's a 25-digit recovery key that you can get to. Many people don't have that. I highly doubt that you have that, but if you set this is something that you're kind of stuck on. You have to get a hold of someone higher up and have them verify you another way. That's the only way to get into one of these accounts like that. If you don't have, when we set up, ladies and gentlemen, when we set up two-factor authentication, we want to make sure that two-factor authentication email address is something that we have constant contact to, something that we can check. Before I add an email address, I make sure that I can log into it. If it's something weird, like I'm setting up an account, I'm like, I haven't set up an account for like a year or something, and I need to add an email address, and I'm like, I think this works, but I haven't logged into it for a year. Yeah, you probably want to use it. You probably want to log into the email, make sure it works, and then you can add it, and then you're on, right? So there are ways you can use your phone. There's also two-factor authentication applications that you can get, but right now you're kind of stuck. So you would have to most likely get a hold of Microsoft or get a hold of a Hotmail team, file a ticket, and then get in and get yourself verified in another way. But Hotmail is going away because it's all going to Outlook. So I'm curious if that would even work. Okay, we got about 3 minutes here. Let's see what we got. I've been using Yahoo email for over 20 years. I'm sorry for your loss. It's time to switch to Gmail. Yes, it is. Most painless way to transition. They say, yes, I still use my Yahoo email account I created in the late 90s. Long overdue, but I want to transition to Gmail. I have tens of thousands of emails saved and nicely organized into folders in my Yahoo Mail going back 20 years. And I don't plan on deleting my Yahoo Mail account, but I just want to receive new emails on my new Gmail account. Okay. Wow, I don't know if we're going to have enough time to talk about this whole thing. I think the easiest way to set up is mail forwarding from Yahoo to Gmail, but probably just change my email address from all those newsletters and online registrations. Any ideas on how to do this? Okay, so you can do forwarding, but there's also there's a number of ways you can actually set. There's not a number of ways. Forwarding is really good. That'll get the new emails just like you moved your address and your physical address, and it bounces out the old address into the new address. It'll do the same thing with your new email address. But you can also there's a not Google One. There's a filter thing that shows up. We're probably going to have to talk about that next time because I can't remember off the top of my head. But there is a program that actually allows you to import your old emails and stuff into Gmail and kind of continue on. Mail forwarding is super important. I usually tell people, set up mail forwarding on your Yahoo, which you're going to need Mail Plus on, which can cost you $5 a month for. But you only need it for a few months if you're good at transitioning over. That way, all your email shows up in your Gmail. Set up a signature at the bottom of your Gmail saying, "Hey, check out my new email address. Please add your address book." And a lot of people, if they have you saved, will actually see a little banner most times. Hey, so and so is emailing you from a new email address. Would you like to update your contact information? You go, yes, boop, and now that email address is now the new email address for you in their contact information for you. So it doesn't take a lot to do it. It's a process, and it kind of sucks. And it's kind of arduous. And you're like, okay, I'm kind of checking two things at once to make sure everything works. And did I get the email? And yeah, it's verifying. Okay, it takes 24 to 48 hours for it to start. And da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah, we'll talk about mail forwarding next time and get into it. My response here, I have a whole bunch of stuff written out. I turned the page and it was like, blam! So, yeah, but we can do that absolutely next time. So let's see what else. Well, I guess we're basically at the end again. My goodness. Another amazing Computer Man show. I appreciate you all, everybody out there in the world. Okay, well, if I missed your call tonight, you can always reach me by email, Luigi, Luigi, at ksqd.org. Remember to tune into the Computer Man show. Computer Man, you can tune into the show if you want, or a shoe, one or the other. But remember to tune into the Computer Man show Tuesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. here on 90.7 FM, K-Squid, KSQD. I'd like to thank all my listeners and my callers. Thank you, KSQD, Sandy Stone, Harold Fez, Team Reggie, Gibby, Tiffany, Gilbert, John Sanders, all Santa Cruz, Nick, Tesla, the Wasp, Mr. Casey, Charles, and of course, the humble Electron. Thank you again, Santa Cruz. I'm your Computer Man here on K-Squid, KSQD 90.7 FM, and online at ksqd.org. Stay tuned right here for Be in the Night. I hope you all have a positively charged evening. Until next time.